जय श्री माता जी। श्री माता जी को हम प्रणाम करेंगे और वंदन देंगे। टीम मंत्र और गणेश मंत्र। तीन महामंत्र और श्री गणेश मंत्र। अभी हम राइट हैंड जमीन पर रखेंगे। राइट हैंड ऑन मदर अर्थ, लेफ्ट हैंड फोटो के सामने, स्क्रीन के सामने। यहाँ श्री माता जी से हम प्रार्थना करेंगे कि श्री माता जी, मेरे ईड़ा नाड़ी में जो भी कोई अशुद्ध इच्छा या कंडीशनिंग हो, उसको पूर्ण रूप से इस भू माता में विलीन कर लीजिए। दोनों हाथ सामने रखेंगे, अपना चित तालू पे रखते हुए लेफ्ट हैंड आकाश की ओर, राइट हैंड श्री माता जी के सामने। यह हम श्री माता जी से प्राप्त करेंगे। श्री माता जी, आप कृपा करके हमारे पिघला नाड़ी के सभी दोष और बाधाओं को आकाश तत्व में विलीन कीजिए। हमारे चित्त में अगर जो भी कोई अशुद्धता हो या अहंकार हो, उसको पूर्ण रूप से आकाश तत्व में विलीन कीजिए। दोनों हाथ सामने रखेंगे, चित्त पूर्ण रूप से तालू पे सहस्त्र पे रखते हुए श्री माता जी से हम प्रार्थना करेंगे कि श्री चरण में कि श्री माता जी, आप कृपा करके हमें निर्विचारता में स्थिर कीजिए। श्री माता जी, कृपा करके हमें निर्विचारता की स्थिति की अनुभूति दीजिए। इसी निर्विचार ध्यानस्थ अवस्था में हम श्री माता जी की अमृतवाणी सुनेंगे।
But in case it crosses this door of Agya Chakra, then you get into the state of thoughtless aware. With thoughtless awareness, as like whatever state you get, supposing you become a governor, so you get a certain power. With that, you get certain powers. But at this state, to leave the Kundalini is not a good thing. Because the Kundalini can at that stage start moving this side and that side, can possible. So can go to the supraconscious or can go to the subconscious, collective subconscious. The siddhis people get mostly at this stage. Some of the, not the Shudra siddhis, but the higher siddhis, like you see, they can predict. They can say this is going to happen if the Kundalini has moved to the supraconscious. If the Kundalini has moved to the collective subconscious, then they can start seeing things. You see, a person who is like that, he comes to me, he can see who I was in my previous lives. I do not have to convince them. This is the same thing as anybody who is possessed gets. A person who takes drugs, supposing he is a real alcoholic of the last word, and he's a good soul, he's still seeking God. Such a person can see me in a different form. He can see my past. He can be very much enamored by me. He would know that I was, because you see, people think the past is greater than the present always. Because the past has been much greater than today's. Though I have never given realization to anyone previously. But it was a great past. Because human beings are like that. So, he gets enamored when he sees things like that. This happens with people who are on the supraconscious level if they move out. If they move out, I'm sorry, this happens to people if they move out onto the left hand side, that is into the past. Those who move out on the right hand side can see me as light. They see light. They see all the five elements. They can see me as a waterfall or an iceberg. They start seeing the tanmatra. Now again the Sanskrit words means a casual, we can say the causal essence of the elements. It may help them to get convinced because such a person gets convinced about me, no doubt. Such a person is much more convinced than you are. Now there are so many tantrikas who know who I was, they are afraid of me, they talk about me, they tell about me. There was an ordinary maid servant who came to my program and she got into this. She started speaking Sanskrit and she described me completely, 15 shlokas she said. First time I never said anything about myself. That's how it started. So at that stage, I would not like to leave your Kundalini. Because you can cure people. Curative can be done with your Kundalini is even in the limbic area. I am very anxious always that it should come out of the Brahmarandha. At that stage, you start getting the vibration. But at this stage, you are just a chitta only. And you just touch Sat point. Your attention is only charmed by the spirit. Only the attention part. Spirit, as I told you, is like a flicker of light in a gas lamp. And Kundalini is like a gas which touches the spirit and the light of the spirit spreads in the central nervous system. But only the chitta part, the outer core is the chitta, means the attention part. At that stage, when the Kundalini opens the Brahmarandra, at that time what you feel is the vibrations from your hand, and you can feel the another person also, because you become collectively conscious. Collectively conscious only. Again, out of the Sat Chit Ananda, you just touch the Chitta person. So you start feeling the Chitta of your Chitta becoming the Chitta of the collective consciousness. Means you drop into the ocean of Satchitanand, in which you only feel the collective consciousness. That means you can feel another person's Kundalini. Yesterday there was another gentleman, as you have seen it. He was arguing with me that we have suspended intelligence and all that. I said, what is this suspended? I don't know about this thing. So I told him, he said, I am in a Turiya Dasha. I said, if you are in Turiya, you can feel the Kundalini of another person. You cannot certify yourself like that. Can you feel the Kundalini of another person? He says, no. Then I said, how can you be in the Turiya? If you go into Turiya, that means if you cross this stage, then you have to feel the Kundalini of another person. Now you have seen there are many who can feel it. And they all say the same thing, the same language, whether they are English, Indians, or anything. They say the same thing, that his chakra is, this chakra is catching, that chakra is catching, it is not. Because you start seeing your Kundalini, you start seeing the Kundalini of others. Because on the fingers you can feel it. You can feel it on the fingers, what is happening. So you just feel the Chitta, not the Ananda part. First stage is only Chitta. That you feel the Kundalini of another person. You can raise the Kundalini of another person. You can give realization also after a little while to another person. Of course, my photograph has to be used, but still you can. But the Ananda stage is not yet touch. So in the beginning, you just feel the cold breeze in the hand. You feel the peace, tranquility also. There's no thought. You feel the thoughtless awareness. But the Ananda part is not felt at the first outset. Because now I have studied thousands of human beings and I have seen their problems, and this is a fact. But there are some, as I have told you, who reach the last stage. Very few, very, very few. But among us, we have here one or two people whom you can say who have reached that stage also. They are not aware of it, perhaps, but Anand they can feel it. So the first stage when you come, it is the Chitta stage, the consciousness stage. You touch the Sat, means you start seeing the reality, is one thing that you are flowing. There's something flowing. Then you start saying it's going, it's coming. Just now you said it's coming. You didn't say I am receiving, I am giving. That I goes out of your language. But still the ego and superego are not completely gone down. They are still there, but your attention has come up and you feel the Chitta. With this collective consciousness, you can cure people. You can give them realization, as I told. And also, you can feel the Kundalini of any person in the whole world. And also you can cure the Kundalini of that person. I mean cure not the Kundalini, but I am saying cure the chakras or improve the chakras of the other person. Sitting down here, you can do it. You can tell about the condition of the Kundalini of another person sitting down here, if you take interest. Wherever your attention goes, it works. Chitta. So your attention becomes universal. Your drop of your attention becomes one with the ocean of Satchitanand. Out of that, the attention part only. Listen to me for this very carefully, because many people at this stage drop out. only the attention becomes effective wherever they put attention. Sitting down here, now I'll tell you about a disciple of mine who has come from England. One day he was sitting and he was thinking of his father. Suddenly he got a burning on his finger, this finger. He rang up his father. He said, how are you keeping? So the mother said that he's very sick, he has got throat trouble. This boy did something to his finger and all that, the father got all right. He can do it. Now, he might think he is very powerful. He does not. He does not. He cannot think that way. He cannot think. You see, because the hole has been made there. So he just says, Mother, I felt it and I did like this and he was all right. He never says that I cured. I goes out. In the language, in the words that you don't say I did it. You said it came, it went, it did. It's not coming up. You'll say, even then, you will also say this, Mother, today my agya is catching. Mother, my heart is catching. They come and say like this about themselves. Now say agya is catching means it's little maddening. But one doesn't feel bad about it. Because he's not attached to his Kundalini. He's attached to to his chakras, but to his Atma. So he says, as an Atma, he says, oh my, this chakra is caught, that chakra is caught. A person now who is suffering, say, from cancer, does not know he's suffering from cancer. But a realized person who gets his realization, his attention will tell him that these chakras are out of gear. And so many chakras out of gear means cancer. He need not go to the doctor, he can diagnose himself. But he will not diagnose the way the doctors do, that you have got the cancer of the heart and cancer of this thing and cancer of that. But he will say it is these chakras are caught up, the left or the right. Now from where it is coming, how far it is going, he can give the depth of the chakras. Because the chakras start from here to here and this is the void. So the depth of the chakras he can tell you, it is from here. She's catching from here, she's catching from there, she's catching from there. But there are many abstract things that happen. This is a very important thing. Once you get a realization, the Chiranjivas surrendering. They are watching you now. You become their responsibility. All the deities are awakened in you. If you do anything against the deities, immediately they'll give you a heat. A person who has got realization, if he goes in a place which is not to be seen or which is not to be felt, which is not a good place, or a guru or somebody like that, immediately he will feel heated up. If he doesn't run away, if he still goes on and on and on, he'll lose his vibrations and he'll become just like the other person. So it's a very transitory state, still I would say, because still at this point, the repulsion is not so great that the man does not accept it. Because if you accept it, you become just like that. If you do not accept it, that maybe little bodily problem you might have, you might little burn your fingers or might get little burning here or something like that. But if you are not afraid of these bodily things, and if you do not want to accept it, then you start rising higher. But as I told you, all the Chiranjivas start guiding, looking after. If there is one realized person in a train, there cannot be an accident, and if there is an accident, nobody will die in that train. If a realized soul,
They can be wounded.
huh?
They can be wounded.
Oh, wounded can be. But so, you see, we remember we have seen of one incident where it happened. They were so slightly wounded that they didn't take them to the hospital, any one of them. I mean, little bit scratching might have been, but that's what they told me. There was one realized soul who was traveling by a train which collided near Thana or someplace. Then if a realized a soul is walking on the road. Now realized soul who is totally nirvichara, I'm saying. You see, we have to grade them. Walking on the road. And if he sees a mishap, his attention goes there. Immediately the mishap is averted. Bekita?
Accident cannot happen.
If he sees a mishap, then it is averted. Attention. You see, his attention, he is being blessed. Now, this is for a scientist cannot understand.
But he is guided by internal God. Then he can't do anything by himself.
No, 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 no. The internal gods are his own part and parcel. As you can say, I am guided by my brain, so I can't do anything else. You see, gods are your internal parts, yourself. What is self left then? What is yourself? When you are united with that, then you are finished now. You become a hollow personality. Then you do not have this feeling of self. Then all the time what you say, it is happening, it is going, it is flowing, it is working. It. You can even say like this little girl says, Pragya. She says, this Pragya won't go, she is very obstinate. Just now her Agya is caught, so she won't go. She stands outside from herself and she criticizes herself. She said, her Agya is caught, she won't go. She is very obstinate. She is not Pragya. Even children say like that many a times, if you notice. Like a third person. You start looking at yourself as a third person. You do not identify yourself with yourself. It happens with that. You will see these people, how they are working. Then also there is a part of little enjoyment, which you must know, the joy, anand. You see, normally you will find most of the Sahaja yogis will gather around a person who is a realized soul, who is realizing, who is not a difficult person. Moreover, if there is somebody who comes on my foot, who is a very great soul, I'll tell you, in Calcutta I went there, and I was staying in a hotel, and there was a very nice man who came to see me. He was not realized, but a very saintly person with a great Purva Sampada, you see. And he just touched my feet. And other Sahaja yogis with other rooms. They all rushed there. I said, why did you come? He said, great joy started coming within us, so we came. And they were standing, he was all the time on my foot, and they were standing. I said, neither he is going to leave me, nor you are going to leave me. For 15 minutes he was just drinking the nectar of my feet, and they were enjoying his nectar and the fragrance of it. So the but in case it crosses
थैंक यू श्री माता जी। श्री माता जी को श्री चरण में हम प्रणाम करेंगे और वंदन देंगे।